Tabula Rasa. Willow casts a spell that causes everyone to lose their memories. Will they get them back? Watch to the end of the video to find out.
We open with Buffy patrolling through the graveyard when she runs into Spike, who brings up their makeout session last episode.
Which Buffy is reluctant to talk about and says it will never happen again.
But then she tackles him to the ground as his stake narrowly misses him.
It turns out they are being confronted by King Shark, who demands the kittens he is owed by Spike.
Damn. I wish I had not used Street Shark in that other episode, because it makes way more sense here. So the kittens, that's an ongoing joke now? It's not really that funny, and the more it comes up, the less it makes sense.
And it always just makes me hungry when they talk about them.
Okay. I think that's an entirely different conversation.
Buffy fights off the vampire henchman, and while King Shark asks Buffy if she's available for hire, Spike leaves, so King Shark just leaves too.
And Buffy just lets him leave because this is an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Elsewhere, the gang is wallowing in their own guilt since they ripped Buffy out of heaven when they resurrected her in that other episode, and Tara says it could have been any one of many heavenly dimensions, which I hoped they would go more into, but they don't.
This isn't a show where you're supposed to ask questions, but I had that question too. I wanted to know more.
I want to make sure I'm going to a good place when I die. Place where there are no YouTube ads.
Willow surprisingly acknowledges that she was selfish to bring Buffy back, and Tara says they should focus on trying to make things better for Buffy. And I expected Anya to suggest killing her again, but she doesn't.
And as is typical of these characters, Xander outright states that he's not going to worry about it because, quote, it's too complicated. So I guess that not everybody gets that moment of self-reflection. And when Tara says they need to start thinking about what Buffy wants, which is great, Willow immediately suggests using magic, which made me start to think that Willow, in fact, does not regret what they did. She only regrets how she feels about it, and that's what she wants to fix. And she even says that a memory erasure spell would be perfect, which of course was the dumbest thing to say, since those have worked out so well for her in the past.
And it causes Tara to flip out, and she tells Willow that she's abusing magic, and only thinking about how it works out for her.
She reveals that she now knows what Willow did to her, and Willow takes the same train of thought she tried with Buffy by saying that she cast a spell so, quote, they wouldn't fight anymore, which again is Willow not liking the way she felt about a situation, and that's what she wanted to go away.
I can hear your psychology major coming out.
Hell yeah, I went through Psych 101 and part of 102, where I dropped out and changed my major to ceramics. Hence why I'm now making YouTube videos about Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, it all worked out. Willow says she can prove her intentions by going a month without using magic, to which Tara responds, go 1 week, and she says they might need some time apart regardless.
During this conversation, we cut to the simultaneous conversation between Giles and Buffy, where he's also voicing his intention to leave. Buffy is obviously distraught, probably because she hasn't cashed that check yet, and is afraid Giles will cancel it.
Giles maintains that he thinks leaving is the right thing to do.
Because if he stays, she'll always come running to him when she can't handle something. At least Giles admits that he enables her.
I mean, he's a more intelligent character than the others.
Well, he is British. And Buffy claims she can be independently strong, even when Giles is around, before storming out. The next day, Tara and Dawn are leaving for the magic shop, but Willow isn't ready yet. And as the other two leave, Willow secretly casts an instant spell to dry and dress herself, then brings a damn bouquet of those memory flowers down to the fireplace and casts a memory spell not only against Tara, but Buffy too, which will cause them both to forget recent troublesome events once the crystal she puts in her pocket turns black.
The gang meets up at the magic shop, where Giles is about to tell the others that he is leaving again, which Buffy is still upset about. But before he can tell them, a smoking Spike busts in, wearing a disguise to avoid the Shark Man.
And this time he doesn't even need a giant jacket covering his whole body to shield himself from the sun. Apparently all he needs is a hat.
Yeah, but the hat had flaps.
So all vampires need to run around in the daylight is a hat?
Yeah, that's a good point, because if Spike does that, why don't other vampires go around in the day?
And I'm assuming he came from his crypt, So how close is this cemetery to the magic shop? And I would say not very, since in that other episode, Willow and Xander ran around in the woods for an hour trying to get from one to the other. So is Spike just running all over town with this dumb hat smoking the whole time?
Probably. Willow very covertly checks out her magic crystal, which starts glowing bright green, which of course no one notices. And back in the house, an ember from the fireplace that Willow very responsibly left burning falls onto the bag of Willow's magic plants that she just left there on the floor for some reason for anybody to find later.
Oh, I have an explanation for that. Let me find it. Oh yeah, okay. Because she is an idiot.
Okay, yeah, I keep forgetting about that. Giles finally tells everyone that he's leaving again.
And Buffy proves them absolutely correct, and that as soon as something troublesome comes up, she runs away by immediately trying to run away, because this is upsetting her.
The temptation to give up is going to be overwhelming, and I can't let...
So I won't. No giving up.
Good call, Giles.
But she suddenly passes out, along with everyone else.
Due to the memory reefer being all burned up. After the commercial break, we see that it's dark out, or at least the lights are out, and that never gets explained because Buffy just turns them back on. So who turned off the lights, and when?
Yeah, well, I think it was daytime earlier. Yeah, because Spike came in during the day, and we see that they had the windows open.
I guess.
I don't know.
No customers came in the whole day?
Yeah, good point. When they wake up, they find that they have lost their memories of who they are, so they proceed to explore their surroundings.
They verify that no one is hurt, and that they seem to be in a magic shop, and Commander McDuff suggests that they focus on what they can figure out based on their appearances.
Buffy tries to comfort Dawn, who is particularly upset, and Spike makes fun of Giles for being British before realizing that he is British too. They all assume that Spike must be Giles' son, and they all come to the conclusion that Anya is Giles' fiancée because they woke up leaning against each other.
And Xander assumes that he and Willow are together because they also woke up next to each other.
Willow finally realizes, after like 25 minutes, that they can look at their IDs. So Xander, Willow, Tara, and Giles all learn their names.
Since Buffy and Dawn are the only ones who don't have anything to do, they talk to each other, noticing that Dawn has a necklace with her name on it, and Buffy decides to go by Joan. And because they're so similar, they assume that they're sisters.
Spike finds the name Randy on his jacket and is offended at Giles' name choice. Anya's key works on the register, so she figures out that she is the Anya named on the form next to it, but she pronounces it Anya.
They all finally decide to leave and go to a hospital, assuming they can locate a hospital or the place they're in even has a hospital. But when they open the door, it is indeed night outside, and the Shark Demon's goons are waiting. How long were they waiting there? Did they just arrive? Explain in the comments. The gang slams the door, runs back inside, and while scared, seem totally at ease that vampires exist.
Willow and Xander go to barricade the doors, but we see later that they don't do anything about the large windows, and Giles suggests they use things in the shop to fight the vampires.
You know, magic tricks or whatever they're called.
The goons keep yelling for Spike and Slayer, so the gang assumes that the vampires want wooden spikes to slay an unknown her.
Willow and Xander report back about a trap door that they found that leads to the sewer, and when they try to go, the vampires finally bust in, even though there was no reason for them to wait until now, because they do it very easily.
They grab Spike and demand the kittens he owes, and of course he has no idea what they're talking about, and Buffy manages to fight them off and stakes one of them, finds it very cool, and lets the other one get away. So some things will never change, regardless of memory loss.
And she concludes that she is some kind of superhero. And then Spike finally puts the security gate down over the windows.
The escape goon runs outside to the Shark Demon, who is waiting with a bunch of other guys. So why don't they all just bust in? Why didn't they all just bust in the first place?
Good question. The shark guy tells them they don't need to because the humans will turn against Spike, and if that doesn't happen, they'll just burn the place down, which doesn't get them their kittens, and doesn't satisfy their desire to bust in.
Seems like a lot of excess work when they could just all walk through the door and solve their own problem.
Yeah.
Buffy decides that since they seem to want Spike, she and him will serve as a distraction while the others escape through the sewers. But Giles and Anya opt to stay in the shop and look for a magic solution. So Buffy and Spike make it really far past the group before anyone in the group notices, despite their sole purpose being waiting for them to come out.
Spike goes into vampire face mode and starts fighting, which freaks out Buffy and causes her to keep running. Back in the magic shop, Giles finds his plane ticket and hides it from Anya. And Anya pulls out a magic book and says her intuition tells her it's the right one to use, which leads to them arguing and her reading a spell that causes a rabbit to manifest, which freaks her out.
Reinforcing for the 1000th time how dangerous it is that this shop exists in the first place, when people can just grab a book, shout out some words, and magic happens.
Correct.
While in the sewers, the group that doesn't have anything to contribute is running from a single vampire. Those are some massive sewers, too. Yeah, so that was another question. You got a trapdoor leading right down there. Wouldn't the smell be constantly coming up?
Probably. Spike catches up to Buffy, and she knocks him down, and when he learns that he is a vampire and doesn't have an urge to bite her, he concludes that he is a noble vampire with a soul, which Buffy accurately describes as lame. And we realize that's a reference to Angel You Don't Have to Tell Us.
While in the sewers, the group that doesn't have anything to contribute is running from a single vampire.
Back at the magic shop, Anya is ignoring Giles' suggestions and continues to manifest rabbits.
So she's reading different spells, but each one just summons a rabbit?
Well, one might summon one might summon two, one might summon 3 or 4.
How'd you feel about that green CGI thundering mist?
It was the most impressive effect I've ever seen in my life.
Agree.
I mean, I thought it was fine for the scene. I mean, obviously it's goofy. I didn't mind it. The vampires catch up to Buffy and Spike, and they have a big fight.
While Giles has his own fight against an Argonaut skeleton, which would have been way cooler had it not been CGI. But it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, I was actually impressed with the choreography, I guess, and the integration into the shot, especially for a TV episode from 2001. He argues with Anya some more and reveals that he was going to leave her, so she takes off her engagement ring and throws it at him. I put that in there because I thought that was going to be important later, but it's not.
While in the sewers, the group that doesn't have anything to contribute is confronted by the single vampire.
Giles manages to find a spell that causes things to revert to the way they were, so he and Anya apologize to each other and make out.
Yeah, so they make up and make out. In the sewers, while running from the single vampire, the black crystal falls out of Willow's pocket.
And after Xander manages to kill the vampire, he accidentally breaks the crystal,
restoring everyone's memories at the most awkward moment for most of them.
Including Willow and Tara, who apparently didn't care that Xander was about to die and were instead about to make out. So the gang in the sewer awkwardly starts heading back to the magic shop. And they go back very slowly, apparently forgetting that everybody else was about to die.
While Giles and Anya are desperately trying to distract themselves from recent events.
Spike manages to kill the remaining vampires, and King Shark tries to smooth things over with him and leaves.
He just walks out of frame. That's the end of him.
Never to be seen again. Although he might show up later, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's going to be in that new Superman movie.
And Spike tries to help Buffy up from where she got knocked down, but she leaves without talking to him. Then we awkwardly transition to a Michelle Branch music video, with her singing in the irritatingly mumbly way that she used to, with the really annoying lilt that she would put on the end of a lot of words. It made me very angry.
Hey, it was the 2000s, alright?
Yeah, I have that in my notes. It was very early 2000s. And we do eventually see that Buffy is at the bronze, but it was still a very intrusive insert. Especially since she keeps singing over shots of everyone looking sad.
Yeah, very cheesy, but very expected.
Unfortunately. Giles gets on his plane, Dawn is upset about Tara packing up and leaving, and Spike shows up at the bronze, but Buffy rebuffs him again, only for us to end on a shot of them making out. Tabula Rasa, overall. I should have figured out how to say that in Latin.
Tara calling Willow out for all of her bullshit was definitely needed, but I am disappointed that the tension between Willow and Giles was not addressed. She straight up threatened him in that other episode, and there was no follow-up to that, and now he's gone. Again, I guess, maybe. We'll see.
That's a good point. From his perspective, I would think that would be something he would want to hang around for.
Yeah, maybe when they got back to the magic shop, that's where Tara could confront Willow, and Giles could...
slap her a few times?
Yeah. He's British.
Is that something British people just routinely do, is slap people? Okay. Remind me not to go to the UK.
Explain in the comments. Giles and Spike's interactions were pretty good. We don't often see them play off of each other, and it seemed like the writers knew this was their last chance, which is why some of those parts went on for as long as they did. And while we're talking about Spike, the fact that everything was taken so seriously over the kittens was too much. I hope it does not keep coming up. And from a realistic standpoint, there are a multitude of cat shelters all over the place, not to mention strays on every corner. I can see 6 from my window right now. I get the Blade thing of vampires running blood banks, but having demons run the ASPCA doesn't quite give off the same vibe. The rapid back and forth between groups in this episode was done way better than most episodes where they tried to do that. The frantic pace of everything helped, but I wish that the sewer group had more to panic about than a single vampire. The only real thing that happened down there was the sexual tension between Willow and Tara. Xander and Dawn did nothing in this episode, which was kind of a bummer. Dawn acted overly scared about everything, which I thought would be explained a little bit more, or maybe her stealing habit would manifest itself somehow, but that didn't happen, and Xander didn't do jack shit other than beat up one vampire.
They could have had Dawn steal Willow's crystal, and then for some reason that could be why it affected everybody. Because why did it affect everybody? Just because she cast it wrong? Or didn't know what she was doing?
Well, that was another question. I think because more of the flowers burned.
Oh, that's right.
But how does that affect more people? I would have thought it would make Buffy and Tara lose more memories. Maybe regress them fully to infancy or something, not affect other people around them.
Yeah, then they could have ripped off another Star Trek episode, Rascals.
What a disaster. I think it would work better too if Willow and Tara were alone in the sewer, because for some reason they would get separated from Xander and Dawn. But I still don't know what Xander and Dawn would have done. The crux of their characters relies entirely on other characters, so when they're isolated, they don't contribute anything.
Yeah, I think it would have worked better if Dawn had run out after Buffy, saying like, oh, that's my sister, I have to, like, help her or something. And then Buffy would have had to be looking out for her or something. That would have at least had a role for her in there.
Right, and Xander staying in the magic shop to be near Anya because he needs her to do anything, character-wise.
Well, see, the best thing for Xander would have been if they killed him off.
True. Yeah, maybe he could have been captured and just held in a room.
And tortured for the rest of the length of the show.
Despite Tara leaving Willow, Willow's issues are still not resolved, and I hope the writers don't forget that. Her selfish magic casting is almost an addiction at this point, and Tara leaving I don't think is enough to break her out of it. And this was yet another episode where the main characters are running through this heavily populated city, yet no one else is around. This vampire gang, led by a shark in a crimson suit, is just sauntering through town, and there are no issues with that.
I thought it was a purple suit.
Might have been. It was night, and I'm colorblind. Will Buffy accept that she and Spike are a thing now, or will she revert back to beginning episode mode yet again and claim that there's nothing between them? Because that has happened many times, this episode included. And I know there's a good chunk of people who watch the show who like that drama aspect of it, but I don't. So let's get to the next episode of the show. I thought story-wise, this one worked pretty well. I was engaged for the most part. I give it a B-.
I'm going to go with a C+. So the writers had already ripped off TNG with Life Serial. I guess they decided they might as well do it again. But TNG made much better use of everyone losing their memories. There were some amusing moments here, like you said with Spike and Giles, as an example, and Giles and Anya, but I expected it to be a lot more fun than it was. Like you were saying, the characters in the sewers didn't really have anything to do, so once they got down there, it was just kind of run from the vampire. The stuff with Spike and Buffy was okay. In terms of pushing the subplots forward, at least they addressed the revelation of Buffy being pulled out of heaven and Tara finding out about Willow erasing her memories, but Tara was way too lenient about that. I'm glad they didn't just do away with all of that by the end of the episode and actually had Willow keep being selfish.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me like her as a character or as a person, and it doesn't really fit with the earlier version of her character, but it's an interesting direction to go in, at least. And it does make me intrigued to see how that's going to play out. But unfortunately, Giles won't be there, and I did want to see more of a confrontation between the two of them, unless he just comes back again next episode. The Buffy and Spike relationship thing pretty much went through the same path as last episode, where she was trying to push him away, and then ended up making out with him at the end. So there was no real progression there. And pretty much from the point where everyone lost their memories to the end of the episode, there wasn't really any forward movement. It was just kind of the gimmick to get you to kind of enjoy the episode, I guess. But again, I didn't think they did enough with it. And at the end of the episode, we didn't get a resolution to anything. We didn't even have dialogue. Instead, we just got an out-of-place music video that was very egregious. It was so much. I didn't think it was a bad episode, but not a whole lot happened. And it gave us kind of an Empire Strikes Back ending where it's just, oh, I guess that's it. So I found it a big disappointment compared to last episode, where we did get a lot of character and subplot progression. So I am curious to see where things are going to go, but it's disappointing that it's kind of settled back to what it was before the musical episode already. And like I said last time, I was wondering if Xander's role in causing all this stuff last episode was going to come up, and nobody addressed it at all, showing that he really is a completely pointless and forgettable character.
And where in episode 8 is the big threat of this season going to be internal instead of external? Are they just going to have to fight amongst themselves? That would be an interesting take.
I agree.
But I'm expecting the stupid nerd trio to show up in the next episode.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We didn't see them this episode or last episode, so we don't know how the musical stuff affected them. I wonder if they will bring that up the next time they show up, and it'll probably be irritating regardless.
Or they'll do something silly, where Buffy's depression will manifest itself as a physical demon.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That would be lame, and now that you're saying it, I feel like they'll do that at some point.
So I guess we'll see.
Thanks for watching.